Hi, I'm Jello.
And I'm Tommy.
And episode 11 was almost as good as episode 7.
Yeah, you're so desperate for a rhyme.
I kind of am. But let's go.
Full moon!
No, you know what? You're totally wrong.
About what? No.
Yes, I prefer Mini Moon.
Girl, her name is Chibi Moon.
There is no time for that right now because it's time for the Mini
Moon
Moon
Minute.
Let's go. The Mugen building gets a bleak renovation.
And the KO'd inners become a door decoration.
In order to stop Pharaoh 90 from merging with Earth, the outers form a barrier to keep him locked tight.
Mistress 9 is ready to hatch, and Hotaru tries to keep the mother clucker in check. Moon spiral heart attack. Heart broken.
Hotaru is on the power block, so Mistress 9 swallows the inners host.
Hotaru for the block again, and then she takes off to return the hostie to the rightful owners.
Mistress 9 is free to leave and she rips Hotaru's soul up, but not before powering up Chibiusa and Mamoru.
Chibiusa is back and ready to fight.
Moon Prism Power Make Up! Mistress 9 is so hungry after all that soul ripping and goes for Sailor Moon's crystal.
Jupiter Coconut Cyclone.
Mars Snake of Fire!
Mercury Aqua Mirage.
Venus Wink Chain Sawed!
That tickles.
Pink Sugar Heart Attack!
To the back.
And Mistress 9 is a sinking ship.
The Sailor team powers up Sailor Moon, and Chibiusa wants a piece of the action too.
2 chalices?
Good luck, Mistress 9. Okay, so we had another pretty emotional episode this time, I would have to say.
Lots of conflict in this episode. We had the internal conflict between Hotaru and Mistress 9.
And then we had the external conflict with Mistress 9 and the outer scouts, because as we know, the inner scouts are knocked out.
TKO'd Tokyo. Whole lot of going on, and Hotaru really was a star in this episode.
Yeah, and the really crazy thing about Mistress 9 for me was I completely forgot that she shreds Hotaru's body to come out. And because I kind of thought that Mistress 9 form was kind of her final form.
Her own body.
Yeah.
But it's still actually Hotaru's.
It's Hotaru's body.
And I guess that egg was hatching.
Yeah, and she was super, super powerful and super scary. I loved the animation in this one. It was very Attack on Titan with the googly eyes and the craziness when she was trying to bust out.
And the spikes coming out of her skin.
So and the sound effects. It was very, very Attack on Titan.
And then she came out in a nice little flower pot, it looked like, or out of a
little petal.
She budded out quite nicely, probably out of from one of the Telon plants.
Which I find kind of funny because aren't flowers code word for a vagina?
Of course, as I mentioned, we had Hotaru inside this body still, her soul, and we had inside there Chibiusa's host, and also her version of the silver crystal trapped in there as well.
Which I found really interesting because I don't remember Hotaru swallowing the soul, just the crystal, but I guess the soul was in the crystal?
Yeah, I guess it was a 2-for-1 deal. So
free gift with purchase.
And so, of course, Mistress 9 was trying to draw more power out of these two energy sources.
Yeah, she even mentioned, she was like, you know what, you're not stronger than me, because Hotaru was keeping the body together as these spikes were coming out, right?
She kept her promise to Chibi Moon.
And that's when we saw the true power of friendship and Hotaru, but also the true power of friendship. I'm going to say this because we keep forgetting that Hotaru's really young. All the other scouts are the same age. The outers are kind of the same age, but Hotaru's the youngest, and Chibi Moon is also incredibly young. So then, just by her loving her friend and protecting her, she essentially blocked the energy. And then, so Mr. Sun was super pissed. She's like, what the hell? You're blocking me? This is bullshit. And she tried to rip her soul apart, but it didn't work. So what did she do?
She goes for the inners, who are already TKO'd from Tokyo again, from that renovation of the building. And they're just hanging out.
Just chilling, taking a nap.
Taking a little power nap.
Just a Union 20.
Yeah, just a Union 20 smoke break.
Yeah.
And she draws their souls, and of course Sailor Moon goes into a tit fritz.
Yeah. So
So these 4 inner hosts are going into Mistress 9. And Hotaru's like, bitch, I'm blocking these ones too, bitch.
So she grabbed them all and protected all of them. Hotaru was having kind of an inner dialogue. I'm so weak, my body is gone, da-da-da. And then she's like, but I feel another force.
And she was also very sad that her father passed away.
She was like, and I feel another force, and another part of me in my soul emerging. And it's obviously the Sailor
Sailor Saturn, yeah.
We're seeing her get stronger. We're seeing her evolve, and then from that, she saves the scouts. She gives them back their
hosts.
And how cute is she? Like, did her spirit look? I actually fully cried.
And then she zipped over to Chibiusa's place with Mamoru, and she gave Chibiusa her powers back, her life back, and in that, she was able to power up Chibi Moon and also Tuxedo Mask somehow. They felt a power emerging within them.
We saw Chibiusa and Hotaru having like a conversation.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
Professing their love for each other, actually.
So amazing, and it's so important to tell people, like especially your friends, that you love them all the time. Yeah. So I love that they did that, and they really show that these two are gonna be best friends. But of course, that stupid Mistress 9 had to rip apart that body as soon as Chibi Moon was like gonna touch her, and Hotaru's soul vanished away.
It seems like that had to happen in order to motivate Chibiusa to go and kick Mistress 9's ass, which we'll talk about in the next segment.
Let's go.
We now have Chibi Moon all powered up from her friend Hotaru, her recently deceased friend.
Love her flying away, again the flying. But you know what? I've kind of given up on the reason of why they can fly, and I just kind of love it. I think it's kind of cool.
It kind of drives the story along, because you know what, I kind of always wondered in the original anime, all they were doing was running across town when they were fighting the bad guys. It's like, you bitches are winded running in those heels, and now you gotta fight the bad guys. Girls!
Yeah, no, I kind of like this. They're jumping over buildings, they're flying, they're fighting in air. I'm into it.
They're more superpowered, and actually, I can dig it. Yeah, totally. So she goes on a mission now for revenge to take away Mistress 9's life and power. And all the inners tried to attack Mistress 9, protecting Sailor Moon's crystal, essentially.
Which was great, because I think this was the first time in this season that we saw the four of them
unite their powers together.
And they had this huge attack, very similar to the end of season 2, but it really did nothing.
It just gave her a nice little tickle in the tits, right? And Sailor Moon did her moon spiral heart attack on, and it just was like, ciao for now, bitch. So,
which I'm kind of glad, because I hate when Sailor Moon solves a problem.
When I saw Chibi Moon coming into the scene and her doing her pink sugar heart attack, I was like, f off, girl. Great, another blocked attack. And I was so surprised to see her take down this big potted plant piece of shit bitch.
But I think the reason it worked is because in some way, Mistress 9 is still part of Hotaru's body, right? And Hotaru transferred power into Chibiusa, making her more powerful. So I kind of feel like that's why. She didn't kill her, she didn't take her down, but she definitely did some damage.
She laid some smackdown on her, and she went sinking into the abyss. And it really kind of showcased this new power that was inside of her. Again,
I love Chibiusa. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. I love her. She's so good.
She's the breakout character, you know? So it was definitely good to see Chibiusa, or Chibi Moon rather, to take on this type of task of beating a big superpower. And then also it was really cool to see her, watching her watch Sailor Moon getting powered up by her friends and having that desire, damn, I wish I could do more.
Did you see that in the original anime, that she was really eager like that? I don't remember ever kind of seeing her really want to be this champion. Like, I almost feel like she wants to be a Sailor Scout more than Sailor Moon does.
It seemed more like a jealousy in the original anime, and this was, she was more inspired.
Yeah, and they're working together, so...
Yeah, they're not fighting over Mamoru, which is a gross... Yeah, we've talked about that before.
And then all of a sudden...
She gets to do shots with her mom, basically.
Shots. And like a second Moon Chalice appears, which, to be honest, I was not expecting.
No.
I was completely 100% not expecting. And Sailor Moon powers up, and then Sailor Chibi Moon powers up.
And it kind of ended on a cool cliffhanger with Mistress 9 re-emerging.
And then the two of them taking their wands and crossing their wands in front of each other and...
ready to rip it up.
Ready to go. And I'm telling you, I am really feeling Chibi Moon this season. Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying that. She's literally my least favorite character up until this season started. But yeah, so we're gonna give you 3 cheers to Chibi Moon. 1, 2, 3. Yay, 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 yay!
All right, so all in all, I think this was a good episode, much better than last week's kind of...
Oh, totally. You mean when, like, my extra extended nap time?
Yeah. But my highlight for this episode was seeing Chibi Moon take the fuck out of Mistress 9 from the back. You know what? I do love good backdoor action, and Chibi Moon really and pinned it home. Way to go, girl.
My highlight is actually kind of a funny one. I loved all of the close-ups on Mistress 9's face as she was like trying to emerge and Hotaru was not letting her. Her eyes were going crazy, her face was bulging. It was just this beautiful, insane animation that was actually quite terrifying.
And now for low points, I think overall this was a good episode, but I gotta say it was kind of a shame not to see more interaction with the Outers. They were just in the background, just kind of doing their protecting what they're... So, I mean, it was good to see them do that. That's their mission. I wish there was a bit more Outer interaction, but we are coming into the final stretch here, so maybe we're gonna see some real kick-ass contributions next episode, hopefully meaning deep submerge, world shaking, and dead scream.
I want to talk about the complete uselessness of the tit on a bull tuxedo mask. I think Tuxedo Mask is a waste of a character, and I get it. Like, he's supposed to be there. He's playing almost like a reverse damsel in distress, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not really adding anything. He's not really helping them. He only kind of jumps in at a very, you know, at the last minute when she needs a little bit of an extra power boost. But Sailor Moon really does all the work. And like in this episode, he had a lame ass transformation.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, okay, at least he got a transformation, but
Finally,
like, still
yeah.
lame. These girls are getting the crap beaten out of them. They're doing all the work, and you're just gonna pop in and say, "Hey, do this. Stop being a backseat
Oh,
driver."
hey, don't forget. Like, fuck you, bitch. You try wearing a skirt and heels saving the goddamn world.
Yeah, you get to wear pants and you get a cape.
And speaking of pants, why don't you just stay at home and iron those goddamn things?
Yeah, who gave you shoes to leave the kitchen anyway?
Yeah, polish those too, you skank.
Yeah, and make me dinner.
Yes, and you better have a nice hot meal with a big glass of wine waiting for me because I am busy saving the goddamn world.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. That wraps up our recap of episode 11. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing. We are so stoked that you've come on this journey with us. We've only got 2 more episodes to go. And also, we do want to do a couple of quick shout outs. First of all, to Toy Animation for not pulling our last video. Thank you. We will do our best to keep within your guidelines. Just please stop f***ing with us. And also to our friends Josh Tech Soldier. Thanks for the comment.
Again.
And also Rudy Uros. Oros, I'm sorry if I ruined your last name, but thank you so much for the comment. And we're looking forward to our last 2 recaps together.
And also, we just want to take a quick minute to talk about what happened this past weekend to our community in Orlando. There was a tragic mass shooting, and I know that there were a lot of gay people affected. Since myself and Angelo are flaming homosexuals, we were obviously super queens. We were obviously really affected by this, and we know that there were some Sailor Moon fans down there, so we really want to take this time to dedicate this episode specifically to our fellow Moonie Drew, who is no longer with us, but he is up in Silver Millennium with everyone else, and we want to dedicate this episode to all the other victims and survivors of the attack in Orlando.
I think this episode in particular the timing was almost perfect. It just showcased the power of friendship and goodwill, and it couldn't have come at a more appropriate time. I think the one thing that we can learn from this is how strong we are as a community. It could have been any of us, it actually was all of us. We all go to the clubs for that sense of belonging and that sense of community, and we had that taken away from us. At this moment, we can't stop doing what we do. This is a call to action. We have to be who we are. We have to be stronger, and we have to show the world how amazing we are. So don't give up, keep fighting, and above all, choose to love, don't choose to hate. And we'll see you next week as we go
Full Moon.
Thanks so much for watching. If you missed our recap of episode 10, click here to watch it. Also, be sure to check out facebook.com/fakenerdguys for the Fake Nerd Guys. Superhero cosplay at its gender bent best. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.